there's a lot of clips of her. She spoke at the BET Awards about how this election is the most important because we have 3 Supreme Court seats that are up. That's what she said. And she also said that Project 2025 is coming up. And I think that's probably what you'd like to play. But if you want to play it, go ahead.
Maybe she's running.
Time for us to play chess, not checkers. It's about making decisions that will affect us as human beings, our careers, our next generations to come. Did you know that it is now a crime to be homeless? Pay attention. It's not a secret. Look it up. They are attacking our most vulnerable citizens. The Project 2025 plan is not a game. Look it up.
And then here's a white lady to explain it all to us. So that's Taraji. She, homelessness, being homeless is now a crime. Look it up. Look it up, guys. Taraji said it. Look it up. It's a crime.
It's pathetic. I mean, this is what a lot of Black celebrities will do, is use these scare tactics and say things like, look it up. When you look it up, you won't find that homelessness is now illegal. And the Supreme Court ruling that she referenced does not do that either.
But you will find that. You will find that homelessness is a crime if you look it up.
What do you mean?
I looked it up.
I know, and you'll find story after story and tweet after tweet that homelessness is a crime. No one's going to read the statutes. No one's going to read the Supreme Court decision. They're just going to read whatever this white lady's name is from MSNBC. They're going to read her telling people. Huh?
Nicole Wallace.
Lucy Lawless?
Nicole Wallace.
I would be a lot better if it was Lucy Lawless. You know what I mean? Y'all don't even know who that is, do you?
I know the
Oh
name.
my God, you too. Insufferable. So yeah, whatever. They are going to find it if they look it up. Go on, Charles.
Fair. They will find it if they look it up. And so this is separating this from the Black voting issue. Project 2025 is a plan that was put together by, I believe, the Heritage Foundation kind of led the effort and then pulled in a coalition that's now in 100 plus maybe of organizations, conservative and right-leaning organizations across the country that are building out a platform for the next president to be successful. I think what we've recognized the last Republican president was that you can get in, but if you don't have people to fill these institutions immediately, and if you don't have plans ready to go, it becomes very difficult to get everything underway. And before you know it, you're 4 years in and you're still filling appointments. And so this program seems to tackle some of that. Similarly, the American First Policy Institute says that that's what their goal is as well. And I didn't see them listed as a coalition partner on this, so I don't know if they're doing their own thing. But yes, this is it. And the Democrats are saying that this is the scariest thing since I don't know what.
Well, Donald Trump has his own Agenda 47, which is, agenda. You got to say agenda and then a number. It makes me think of Agenda 20, Agenda 21, Agenda 30. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Michael knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I know that.
But I mean, all of this. I mean, it's not like this sounds all that bad. Am I not allowed to say that?
You're canceled. I don't like how there's only one thing on taxes. Like, I feel like there's
lower taxes on big corporations. Okay.
What about people?
Well, the corporations are just going to pass along the tax on to the people, their customers. So it's lowering taxes for everybody, making costs lower.
Well,
you're going to gut federal workforce and install loyalists by making tens of thousands of civil servants fireable at Trump's will. Isn't that already the case for the president?
Wait, what is this?
Yeah, where are you looking at this?
Plan for Trump's second term, man. This is what I find when I look up Project 2025. This is what, since I found it, other people are finding it. This is a tweet that is very popular. 2.2 million views. From Kelly at KelDA, and she has 68.6 thousand followers.
That doesn't. Okay, so she has.
It doesn't matter if it's true or not. It's what people are seeing. It's the same thing. It's the same thing as the is homelessness criminal, or they look it up, are they going to find it? Yes, they will. It doesn't matter if it's not true.
Correct. You're right.
Michael, what's up?
No, I don't accept the left's framing. So I'm going to. Yeah, it matters what people think, but what is Project 2025? It's a 1,000-page document. and it says a lot more than what you was just on the screen. It's here was my takeaway. I didn't read all 1,000 pages, but I looked at quite a bit of it. Directionally, it seems
he looked at the table of contents.
No, directionally, it seems pretty good, but it's not. The way Bannon and some of the America First people are talking about it is like that it's they call it deconstructing the administrative state. I don't really know that that's necessarily true. It looks like it's taking the administrative state and making it conservative.
Yeah.
And you might like that. I probably like things in that. That's great. But is that really what we should be doing with the administrative state? I thought we wanted to dismantle it. So I didn't read it all. There are probably steps to make it smaller in there. Like, for example, they recommended dismantling the Department of Homeland Security, taking some of the things that it does and putting them in different agencies, but like getting rid of the agency itself. Heck yeah. But it's the document is so big that part of the reason it's easy to clip stuff up and change the reality about what is actually being recommended is because there's so many components. If they would just build it around some themes that you could put in bullet points, like what Brad just put up on screen, I think they would have a better job messaging it. And well, I'll stop there and then I could tell you guys what I think should be in there.
Well, I was just going to say, I agree with you wholeheartedly, because I think the issue is that it's just replacing people we don't like and putting people we do like to handle the same levers and then do things that we supposedly like rather than reducing the size. And my issue is that it falls into the trap that conservatives always fall into, which is in terms of not the actual policy, but in terms of messaging and marketing. No average person is going to read that and then take away from that, this is why we should elect a Republican president. You need to make it digestible, and we don't ever do that. We need to make it very pedestrian. We need to make it so that people can see this and understand it, and we don't do that. And it looks like it's a policy wonk document, and that's fine for people who want to read that kind of stuff. But my issue with government in general and with a lot of the think tank leaders today is that you get this policy that does not match what's happening on the ground or does not message to what's happening on the ground because they're not on the ground. And so you have a lot of people talking about things and it's completely going over the head of the average person because they don't know what the average person's dealing with and they don't know how to talk to the average person. And so I wish they would bridge that gap a bit and make it at least understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, you say that the average person doesn't read documents like this, but does the average person read?
I mean, they would read a bullet point thing that you put up there.
Yeah, maybe they'd glance at some bullet points. Maybe, sure. Yeah.
Absolutely, though. But that's who you're trying to get to. That's who you're really trying to get to.
And I have it in a short YouTube video. Like that's what when I sent you guys I was like, okay, can somebody summarize this for me so I don't have to read it all? And they don't even have any sort of marketing for it like that. All you could find was the left going hysterical on YouTube about Project 2025.
Well, it's YouTube for you, right?
That's
trying to scare people.
Yeah, the algorithm for sure.
Speaking of algorithms, I want to show you this real quick about Project 2025. This is from Reddit Lies. Mentions of Project 2025 on Reddit before and after the Trump-Biden presidential debate. It went from 48 mentions per hour to over 200 mentions per hour. That's some scaremongering.
So yeah, for sure. Interesting thing, Kevin Roberts leaves Heritage. He used to be the head of Texas Public Policy Foundation. So I think we should try to have him on the show. I'll ask him. I've also heard his name, and we can make the case to him. Like you need to synthesize this into something people can grab onto.
I don't think they want to.
Maybe not. Well, it's a comprehensive document. I think what they want to do is they want to find people to be in places or put people in agencies and then say, implement this. This is the comprehensive, this is what we want to do. And I get that, but there also needs to be marketing around it that you can synthesize it and communicate to people. But let's ask him to come on the show and talk about it. That can be done. And if he's involved, I know that good stuff is in there.
Yeah.
For me, it's like, as far as the federal agencies go, if this is about the administrative state, it's like Church Commission 2.0. That's first thing. Second, mass declassification project. We're just going to declassify a ton of stuff. Third is eliminating private funding for agencies that creates perverse incentives. I'm thinking big pharma funding the FDA. And then fourth is like, can we have a sunset program that compares what the agency does to the Constitution? And if it's doing things outside of the constitutional framework, then let's just eliminate it. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds like reducing the size of government.
Yeah.
Which is what you guys were saying is not going to happen.
I mean, it's progressivism going the speed limit, right? That tends to be conservatives' strategy, is just to go slower, and there's a lot of reasons for that. But yeah, the objective should be to restore the constitutional framework of government. That's what the conservative objective should be. There's just competing objectives that get in the way a lot of times.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what I think about the document. I think their objective is to implement this certain policy, and by nature of implementing certain policy, it will reduce some areas of government. But the goal there isn't to reduce government, which I wish it was. I mean, I wish that was the case. But just my overall issue is that I can't take that and go to a civic club that I'm speaking at, next week that's concerned about inflation and may want to vote differently because of what they saw and sell that to them, because I don't even know what it all says. I can't go and sell that and give them an alternative and say, hey, if you vote for the Republican, this is what you're going to get. And they're not going to go read that themselves. And so I need, Republicans need to do better at that. We never do. It's something that we always miss the mark on. Just like in the campaign side, when you go on Twitter and you see this guy, Harry Sisson, and all these other progressive influencers who have a 30-second video where they're rattling off a bunch of stuff that's not even really accurate, but it's short and it's compelling and it's interesting and it has thousands of retweets, and now people believe everything they're seeing.
Yeah. Yeah. We suck at that. But on the inflation side, in the Federal Reserve portion of that document, which I did read part of it, they said we should reduce the balance sheet of the Federal Reserve to zero.
Interesting.
And for people who are just listening, that means the Federal Reserve prints money and then buys treasuries to prop up the US dollar and the US debt. They're saying, and they buy not just treasuries, but stocks and things like that too. So they're saying to stop doing that, which it does create inflation and prop up it props up the stock market too.
Does it say anything about immigration?
It certainly does.
Yeah, probably.
It's got to say something, right? Does it say deport them?
Maybe not in as many words, but
I mean, I don't know how you say it in fewer words.
Maybe in more words. Sorry.
Here you go. It's in DHS, says, and DHS move it, but a successful DHS would secure and control the border, thoroughly enforce immigration laws, correctly and efficiently adjudicate immigration benefit applications while rejecting fraudulent claims. There's a lot of things here. Secure the cyber domain and collaborate with critical infrastructure sectors to maintain their security. Provide states and localities with a limited federal emergency response and preparedness. Secure our coasts and economic zones. Protect political leaders, their families, and visiting heads of states of government, and oversee transportation security.
Oh my God! How's anybody supposed to read this?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, that doesn't sound like it does enough for immigration, but
we'll see. I mean, they're still working on it. They're still adding coalition partner. I mean, I don't know if they're still working on it, but I know they regularly add coalition partners. So maybe it gets further developed. Maybe that's it. I know there's other plans out there, like you said, Agenda 47. I think AFPI has stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, but, I mean, it's better than the whack-a-mole approach of the first Trump administration, which was like he just came in and put people around him he thought were good, and a lot of them were bad, and they didn't really have an agenda. So it's at least trying to provide some framework for them to operate and be effective. So the goal is commendable.
Yes. So on to some lighter topics, since those were both very heavy discussions. I'm curious about something, and
yeah, you are.
It goes into our health and wellness topics. One thing that you guys have either implemented or taken out of your life that has changed or significantly improved your health and wellness, and that could be